What's going on, everybody? This is Jason from Dropshipping University coming back at you guys with a brand new video. In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest advantages to wholesale dropshipping, which is the lack of having to pay for sales tax on the purchases that you make from your supplier. I know a lot of you guys are used to paying that sales and use tax if you're not tax exempt from your suppliers like Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, the big retailers. In wholesale dropshipping, we don't have to worry about that, and I'm going to tell you exactly why in this episode. First, I have to give you guys a disclaimer. So I am not authorized to provide tax, legal, or accounting advice. This video is for informational purposes only, and it's not intended to provide and should not be relied on for tax, legal, or accounting advice. You should consult your own tax, legal, and accounting advisors before engaging in any transactions. And I have to read that to you guys just to cover myself. And with that out of the way, I'm going to get right into this video. Okay, guys, I want to get some basic things out of the way, some terminology, and actually understand what all this sales and use tax stuff is about when it comes to buying products on the internet to dropship. So first things first, in 2018, there was a Supreme Court ruling known as Wayfair versus South Dakota, or South Dakota versus Wayfair. You guys can check that out on Google. What this mandated was that every single internet retail company, whether it's Amazon, eBay, or your own Shopify store, you have to start collecting and remitting sales tax on purchases made on specific states or made to customers in specific states. And it's done on a state-by-state level. So some states make you collect and remit sales tax for certain things, for certain products. So there's also product tiers, there's product types and categories of products, and they're all taxed at different rates. It gets very complicated. It can also go down to the town or jurisdiction, even county level, and it gets very, very complicated, very confusing. But this is just a sales and use tax that you would normally pay if you went to Burger King or McDonald's down the street. You'll see a specific tax rate and you'll see how much that company took off the top on the transactional level, and you can see that on your receipt. The same thing now applies to internet merchants like ourselves, and that's why in the past year and a half, more and more transactions from Amazon, eBay, Walmart, you're going to be seeing that sales tax. And if you're not tax exempt on those platforms where you're purchasing the product, then you're going to be responsible for paying that sales tax at the point of purchase. So when you buy those products, you're going to be responsible for paying it, even though you're not the end consumer. Since we're drop shipping, the end consumer is your customer, but the platform doesn't know that. The only way that they would know that is if you get sales tax exemption and you give them all of the forms that they need to get sales tax exempt, and then they just get rid of any of that sales tax. You'll see a sales tax exemption field when you're in checkout, and you'll be all set. You won't have to pay that sales tax, and it'll be passed on to the actual end consumer, which is really what's supposed to be happening, because you are really the middleman, the reseller. And as a reseller, we can get tax exempt. Charities, B Corps, resellers, there's a lot of different reasons why somebody could get tax exempt, and reselling is one of those reasons, since you're not the end consumer. So with all that out of the way, I want to let you guys know something. Wholesale dropshipping is different by design. So when a company actually gets registered, okay, you get registered with the Secretary of State. Generally in your state, you're going to get registered. That company has to get registered in a category. And for us, we're going to get registered as a internet retailer or somebody who's just a retailer. Sometimes they don't get that specific, but sometimes they do. And a wholesale company is going to get categorized as a wholesale distributor. For the sake of clarity, if they have a wholesale arm or a wholesale department, us as the reseller, as the drop shipper, we don't have to worry so much about all of this tax exemption stuff, because all we have to do is supply them with a multi-jurisdiction use form. And what that is a form that you guys can go Google right now, and it is a form with all of the states on it, and you're going to put no nexus for the states that you don't live in, and you're going to put your business ID, your license, into the field for the state that you do live in. So if you live in the state of New York, you're going to put that ID. It's going to be a series of numbers in that field for New York, and you're just going to list no nexus for all of the other states. And that way the wholesale supplier says, you're all set. You're good to go. You have showed us that you are authorized as a reseller in your home state, your nexus state, and all these other states you have no nexus in. So we're just going to apply tax exemption because we're wholesalers. We don't have to deal with all of the other hurdles that a typical retailer would have to deal with when getting a merchant signed up for tax exemption. So that's the basics of why a wholesale supplier won't require you to upload all of those tax IDs, those tax certificates for each individual state. It can get extremely complicated. It can get very, very hairy, and it's constantly changing. It changes with new administrations. I'm sure it's going to change in the next 2 to 4 years. It's going to cost you money. It's going to do a lot of things that's going to put a burden on your business. And if I can avoid that, I'm going to avoid that. And I think if you guys have taken all of those steps to become tax exempt with big retailers, you'll understand, you'll see how much work that is. And if you could just avoid all that together from the start, why wouldn't you? So that's one of the biggest benefits of wholesale drop shipping. I wish more people knew about this. I wish more people started doing this because it's so easy to do. It literally takes me 5 to 10 minutes to fill out a wholesale application and fill out that multi-jurisdiction form that I just told you. It's really, really easy to do, and you send it back to your rep and you are all set with your wholesale supplier. If they accept you, if they approve you, you're good to go. And now you can start selling those products, and you will never be charged a sales and use tax on the purchase of those products. It's a very powerful thing, and I think you guys can really benefit from that. And I hope some people consider to actually make that transition from using those big three, Home Depot, Walmart, Amazon, and start looking into using wholesale suppliers. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Let me know if you have any questions below. I will have to put a disclaimer on every one of my responses, but I will respond to the best of my knowledge. I am not a certified public accountant. This is just the information that I understand, what I do, and this is one of those things that I can't give you guys legal advice on. So if you guys like this video, smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, because that's the only way that you will actually get notifications when new videos of mine come out, and I will see you in the next one.